Elizabeth Arden cream.
This one's wife. Sugar vitriol towards Kate. The sugars. Permanently dim-witted and deluded. Pretty much a facsimile of their leader, really. The sugars exist on two bases. First, those members of this one's wife's coterie who have been paid to support her, to spout hatred towards members of the royal family and basically plague the internet, particularly X, shouting their mouths off or flapping their fingertips, utilising poor grammar and repeated calling cards. One can always identify sugar as a consequence of the squawking call of "leave her alone," or "you don't know her," or "you're racist," or "you're just jealous," when they mean envious. All of those things are completely inaccurate. The second reason that they exist is as a consequence of certain deluded individuals who saw as some kind of champion for them. Often, these individuals, being people of colour themselves, vicariously live through this one's wife, believing that she is this wonderful, caring person who would become Queen of England were it not for the nasty racist already in Buckingham Palace. These individuals clearly lead somewhat empty lives, and in some respects the parasocial relationship that they have with this one's wife would be harmless. However, they demonstrate their slavish devotion to the Duchess of Delusion by engaging in rank hypocrisy. They routinely criticise people by suggesting that they're pouring hatred in the direction of this one's wife, when in actual fact it's justifiable and evidence-based criticism of her behaviour, and then engage in the nasty, vitriolic smearing of members of the royal family, particularly William and Kate. Thus, the Sugars believe somehow that what they're doing is a favour for this one's wife and that she would praise them for it. The fact is, she doesn't give a rat's ass about you. She doesn't give a flying fuck. She expects you to support her. She wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. You're lowlifes. She has no interest in spending any time with you or engaging with you. You're simply there as the riff-raff that you are to support her, pay for things for her, buy her products, etc. She's just there to milk the Sugars as a potential cash cow, although, of course, they do tend to find themselves from the lower socioeconomic groups in general terms. As you are aware, the Princess of Wales had recently undergone surgery and is currently recuperating, demonstrating the complete absence of emotional empathy that they have. The Sugars have been out in force, and this has come to be commented upon by the Express. Sophia Papamavrudi reports, Prince Harry and this one's wife fans spark outrage over disgusting Princess Kate comments. Well, it's not a surprise, is it? Prince Harry and this one's wife's fans were slammed on social media after several users made offensive comments or speculations about Kate, the Princess of Wales's health. Princess Kate is recovering at the London clinic after undergoing a successful abdominal surgery, and she could stay there for up to 2 weeks before continuing her recovery at home, it was announced. Many have speculated about the cause of the operation. However, sources let it be known that it was not cancer-related. Social media was flooded with speculations and derogatory comments about the Prince and Princess of Wales, with some of them claiming it's payback after a long and stressful period. But a royal reporter hit out at the latest comments saying they disgust him. The Daily Mail's diary editor, Richard Eden, tweeted on X, "Some of the posts on here about the Princess of Wales's health problems from hashtag Prince Harry and hashtag This One's Wife supporters really disgust me." The tweet received a lot of support, with one user saying, "This One's Wife's fan base represent her perfectly." Meanwhile, another one wrote, "Well said, Richard. It's horrific." Now, it's noteworthy that This One's Wife hasn't ever come out and said, "Please don't engage in this behaviour. It's not necessary." For someone who deems herself to be kind and caring and empathic, you would think, of course, that that would be the step to take. Moreover, even with the fact that she is a narcissist, for the purposes of facade management and cognitive empathy, you might have thought that a narcissism would at least lead her down the route of issuing an instruction to those followers not to engage in that behaviour. But of course she hasn't, which shows the hypocrisy of when she goes around telling people to essentially be kind to one another and that she is there to be supportive, but then she does nothing to rein in her supporters and their conduct on X. She knows full well what they do, and she wants it to happen, because she wants them to attack Kate, because she is the nemesis. There are indeed the suggestions that This One's Wife would pay some of them to undertake this dissemination of information supporting her and attacking other people, and it's entirely conceivable that something like that could occur. She would not, of course, have done it directly. She would have arranged for a fixer to do it on her behalf. But it is no surprise at all to learn that the Sugars have been behaving in this manner. Another added, in relation to Richard Eden's tweet, "What do you expect? Many are being paid by This One's Wife, evil personified," with another one commenting, "Richard, we're used to it, as they have attacked Catherine for 4 years. The thing is, the Princess of Wales is actually a lovely, kind woman, and they do it in the name of a fame chaser who has shown time and time again that she's not a nice person, misplaced and ignorant." The fact is, there are also others, though, that pinpointed that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, as well as their children, have been the subject of vicious attacks, with not many to defend them. A user wrote on X, "Do comments about the Sussexes and their children from the William and Kate supporters also disgust you? You never mention it. I wish Kate a speedy recovery, but you and your colleagues write of Harry and This One's Wife like they're the Moore's murderers. You're all to blame for this toxic situation you have helped create." What, though, is the view below the line about this activity that has been taken place by the supporters of This One's Wife? NZ Bumblebee comments, "Anyone who makes derogatory comments about any child isn't a very nice person. But seriously, what the royal family have had to put up with from This One's Wife and Harry is beyond believable, and they're still putting themselves as the victim. I think it's time they grew up and started acting like adults instead of entitled children. In fact, less seen would be better until they actually started doing something worthwhile, instead of getting themselves into the media about doing anything but work." And then there's a response from somebody called Freddie Bassett to that very comment, perhaps personifying the deluded nature of the Sugars. This individual, Freddie Bassett, writes, "I've reported you for the hate campaign you were clearly enjoying when you know nothing about anything." Now, where's the hate in what NZ Bumblebee wrote? There isn't any. And indeed, that's something that somebody else called Grummer points out. Where's the hate in the comment you reported? And it's typical behaviour of the Sugars that they don't actually look at the evidence. The comment from NZ Bumblebee had no hate in it whatsoever. But they behave in such a similar way to This One's Wife. That might cause you to think, is it the case that many of the Sugars are narcissists? Well, there will be some in there. There's no doubt about that. But the majority are just misguided normals. They have no emotional empathy for William and Kate. they've allied with this one's wife. And given the fact that they have a low cognitive function and that they've nailed their colours to the mast of this one's wife some time ago, they just continue to pour out the same knee-jerk responses because, essentially, they're rather thick. The fact is, other individuals comment, Menino, Bill Simmons was right when he called them plucking grifters. Next to bad-mouthing other people and talking behind their backs, grifting is their bread and butter. Angie Loop, all very sad, and started by the Harkles. They are responsible. Royley Blunt, the difference is that Harry and this one's wife got the hate because of what they've done. William and Kate got it just for living their lives in a way that this one's wife does not like. This is typical behaviour by the duo and their fans, quick to clutch their pearls and point their fingers, but never accepting any responsibility for their actions. A flavour of what people believe, and a useful opportunity to show to you how the coterie of the narcissist behaves, in this instance, in relation to this one's wife. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.